Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Horse Lighting Takes. And let's get right to the news.
All right, we're going to start out with another little blurb from the Empire articles that are coming from the newest edition of Empire magazine. Ian McDiarmid, he kind of talks a little bit about Palpatine's return. And another fun little tidbit.
Oh?
Yeah, but I'll save that for the end of our Ian McDiarmid section, I guess.
Okay.
All right. It's interesting because, well, he came back and
He did,
nobody thought he should come back because, I mean...
It wasn't about Ian coming back as much as it was about Palpatine coming back that people had issue
He's
with.
the one who spawned the no one's ever really gone, right?
That was actually Luke who says that in The Last Jedi, but he kind of... He solidified the saying, I guess, yeah.
Ian McDiarmid thinks that Palpatine always has a plan B. He kind of explains that, first off, that it's in honor for him, kind of... because his villain drives all of the big episodic Star Wars movies. Yeah. Not just the first three, not just the middle three, all of them.
I am all the Star Wars, yeah.
He said, the thing that I'm most pleased about, and you know, this only came to a head when they asked me to come back for The Rise of Skywalker, is that every single evil act in all of the Star Wars franchise is either directly or indirectly down to that character. That is total evil, and that's strangely satisfying as an arc. I do feel fortunate to have been able to do it, and other villains of cinema now have to compete with that.
Yeah, it was Palpatine all along for everything.
For literally everything.
Yeah.
All the Star Wars we know was literally all his fault.
Yeah, all the movies, yeah. Mm-hmm. There are other things that he's not responsible for.
Yet.
Yeah, I'm sure they could retroactively make it all
Dawn of the Jedi is coming, and we'll find out that the first iteration of Palpatine
was him, yeah.
That he has existed through all of time, like he said he was when he was all the Sith.
Well, there was that kind of interesting theory where the Sith kind of, like, one Sith has moved through apprentices down the line to, and it's Palpatine. You know,
it could be now.
It's not the worst kind of idea in the world, but I don't really think it works, per se, if that makes any sense at all.
He kind of then talked about how he was able to come back.
Yes, he was able to come back.
He said a lot of people said it was ridiculous. Of course, he was dead at the end of Return of the Jedi. And frankly, I think George thought he'd killed me too. But JJ thought it'd be a good idea, and I wasn't going to argue with him.
Cloning, dark science, secrets only the Sith knew.
Let me finish.
Okay.
He said, I felt that Palpatine always had a plan B. Probably a plan C, D, E, and F as well. And he was an expert in cloning, so...
I mean, I agree he's got backup plans and stuff.
Plans within plans.
Certainly. Plans he is the king of machinations, so... I don't know that he's an expert in cloning. The others are the experts.
He made
and he just
people
recruits
experts
them.
in cloning.
Yes. He knew to seek out the Kaminoans.
Finally, they asked him something a little quirky. Asked him whether the Emperor actually gets it on. I mean, if he did, in fact, have any children of his own. To which Ian McDiarmid said, please don't pursue that line too vigorously. But yes, he does have sex. It's a horrible idea to think of Palpatine having sex in any shape or form.
Good.
But then, of course, perhaps he didn't. Maybe it's all to do with the midichlorians, and don't ask me what those are. Never trust your granddaughter. That's the t-shirt Palpatine got made shortly after his death. The Palpatine family reunion is sure to be an awkward one.
Yes.
I mean, Sheev was a young man once.
I'm sure, I mean, he was, yes. I'm sure he pursued,
other interests.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
I don't want to think about, like you said, I don't want to think about Palpatine's wrinkly disgustingness. And
well, thankfully, Rey is not his real granddaughter.
No,
Rey is the granddaughter of a clone of, or
which
the daughter
means
of
at least a clone
Palpatine.
of him was getting on.
Well, yeah, but that was like a normal clone, right?
Yeah, but
that's like young Sheev. What?
But I don't want to think of young
Sheev
Sheev getting it on in any form still.
We need to find some old picture of Ian McDiarmid, see what he looked like when he was a young Sheev.
You're going to make me look for stuff?
Yeah, I knew as soon as I said that you were going to grumble.
You're horrible.
We'll find one.
Yeah, I'm sure I found one already.
He was probably a handsome young man once.
Okay, let's move on to another interesting article I found. We have an interview with the Bad Batch producers, Jennifer Corbett and Brad Rao, when they're kind of discussing 3 key characters, maybe not key characters, okay, just discussing 3 characters of maybe some interest in the last season, being Asajj Ventress, Fennec Shand, and Dr. Amiri Carr. I like that she gets like a full name even though she's
We didn't
a clone.
know her last name, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't. She apparently has one.
She'd just be called another Django clone.
Janget.
A Janget, yes.
Janget. Alright, so first off, on Asajj Ventress, Brad Rao decided to talk about how enthusiastic they were bringing the character back for animation, and that he wanted to connect back to Dark Disciple, a key part of Ventress' story. Yeah.
You mean the end of Ventress' story, but yeah, sure.
How they honored that, while also bringing the character back for an important story purpose, whatever that could be.
Sure. I'd love to know how those two work.
Here's what he says. We love Ventress. I'll just say without going into too many details, as a creative team, not just me and Jen, once we knew this was possible, we got really, really excited.
One's ever really gone.
A lot of talk went into it. A lot of thought went into it. Even for the design, we looked into unfinished Clone Wars episodes, the ones that were the inspiration for Dark Disciple. There were already designs that were created in some early story reels. We wanted to honor that look. Her incredible hair, that incredible lightsaber. What color is that lightsaber? Oh my god, there's so much going on. A lot of that came from the Clone Wars unfinished episodes, so we were really, really excited to be able to honor that, and in Bad Batch for a very specific reason as part of Omega's story.
Part of Omega's story?
That's what he said, part of Omega's story.
That's the only interesting thing he said.
Unless
everything
he
else I'm like, oh boy.
all of Bad Batch Omega's story.
I don't think that... I wouldn't consider it Omega's story, actually.
It's the epilogue to the clones.
It's a lot of things. It's definitely the epilogue and potentially conclusion of the clone story. It's the story of the Bad Batch. It's a family story again. It's got a lot going for it, I'd say.
It is interesting that they did give Ventress the yellow saber.
Yes.
Yes.
I
don't remember if they touched on that too much in Dark Disciples, because I know she was still sporting her red one. I thought
she got her red ones taken away by Barriss.
That's right. Barriss was like, give me those.
Yeah, and then Barriss used them against Anakin, yeah. But I love Ventress. A fantastic character. Had a nice arc in the Clone Wars from, Sith assassin to bounty hunter to kind of friend of Ahsoka. Sort of, yeah. And so she had this nice arc, and then even into Dark Disciple, falling in love with Gwendolyn Voss and kind of redeeming herself by giving... Yeah. So it's one of those things where I really like that story. And I don't... Unless this is like taking us back in time to the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch encounter her, and for some reason that works, okay.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting that.
No, I don't think so either. And which is why I'm just kind of like...
They wouldn't need to worry about taking Dark Disciple into mind if that's what it was.
That's a fair point, I suppose.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
Unless it leads into Dark Disciple. Hey, I can hope. Fingers crossed.
Let's switch here. Switching over to talking about Fennec Shand. Well, apparently Brad says that Ming-Na Wen is on fire in that episode.
Literally?
The episode, sorry. Which means what? She's in one episode.
Ooh, spoiler. Yeah.
The other producer, Jennifer, hints that Clone Force 99 might possibly make a deal with Fennec, maybe to break out Omega.
Well, she was already looking for Omega before.
Yeah, but now Omega's at a different place and she's in prison or something.
She was looking for Lama Su, wasn't she? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But she says, she's just an incredible character, and Ming-Na is such a fun person to be around. To pair them with the Batch again, because the last time they interacted was a very different story, I think it speaks to what Hunter and Wrecker are willing to do in order to complete the mission and the deals they're willing to make. Really implying that they are making a deal with her.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring someone back who is that sort of character to make the Batch go, ooh, are they going to make this deal? She was the perfect fit because she's the boss. Having them in this episode with her doing what they do, I mean, it was just fun. From breaking the story all the way to the end of the animation, I was just like, love to have her in so many other things.
All right.
Yeah, so I think she's a one-episoder. Again, I feel like all of these characters are like, one episode.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what you do prolonged with
Fennec Shand, yeah. She's got things to do, places to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, Jennifer commented on Amiri and what makes her fascinating going into Season 3. Because she's,
She's
another
like an
female
adult
clone.
Omega clone.
Which means she could have the speeding up genes that Omega does
aging,
not have.
almost certainly.
Mm-hmm.
She pretty much have to, right? Unless Jango had clones like made back in the day, before the clone army and all that.
Yeah, but Omega was like one of the first clones, I think. An early clone anyway, because she
She's an
saw
original,
a lot of them. Yeah.
I mean, I think we're assuming she's an original that didn't... I don't know if they ever like confirmed she didn't have the accelerated... I'm pretty sure she did, right? I'm pretty sure they discussed it at some point.
I don't know.
Huh. Someone in the comments will remember.
Well, what she says is, Omega, she lived on Kamino, but her experiences with the Bad Batch have really formed who she is as a person, whereas Amiri's childhood was very different. Being raised the way she was, being under the tutelage of Dr. Hemlock, she's now sort of a tool for the Empire. We wanted to show the interactions between them because Amiri is very clinical, whereas Omega is the opposite, and wants to have this kind of connection to others. It's been great seeing their dynamic throughout the season, and we have Kesha Castle Hughes, who played the Queen of Naboo in Revenge of the Sith, as the voice for this character. Having her back in Star Wars has been fantastic. She really brought a lot to the character. Exciting.
Very exciting. We'll see what is the deal with her.
Just gotta wait for our 3-episode premiere to see what's going on.
Yeah, we just kind of had that bomb drop down on us at the end of the last season where it's like, hey, I'm you, Omega.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 roll credits.
What, did you think you weren't a clone when everyone is?
That's the secret. Everybody's a clone in Star Wars.
We're all clones here. Alright, lastly, Pedro Pascal was asked about the potential exit from Mandalorian because we've been talking, there's been rumors floating around that he's been so busy.
Well, he's going to even be busier now.
Yep, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
That he's been so busy that maybe he's done. Maybe they're going to, recast him or just have him
come into the studio and record some lines like he did for season 3 of Mando.
But, they did ask him directly about the possibility of him being fired from the Mandalorian, and he responded, "No, God, I hope not."
I'm glad he hopes not.
Well,
he
he's getting fired, he doesn't know
about it, though, did he? He's like, I hope not. I don't know. Maybe.
I think he's just trying to tell you it's a rumor because he obviously hasn't heard anything about them letting him go.
I don't think they're going to let him go.
Especially now that they've solidified him further into the Disney family, because they did finally fully announce that he really is going to be playing Reed Richards in the upcoming Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Comes out next year, July 25th. We've got the full cast. They showed this cute image for Valentine's Day. Kind of makes you wonder if the show is set in like the 50s or 60s because...
That would be interesting. I mean
that's the art they chose to use.
Yeah, the comic book is from the 60s, 62, I think, first issue.
They used to joke that they were the first family in Marvel.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. They also confirmed that Vanessa Kirby is going to be Sue Storm. Joseph Quinn is Johnny Storm. He is from
weird.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Him, so,
Yeah, but it feels strange, yeah.
And we have Eben Moss Blanchard as Ben Grimm / The Thing, which, if you remember, he was an Andor. He played a jerkbag.
A jerkbag. Yes, he did play a jerkbag.
He played a jerkbag, and now he's going to be Ben Grimm.
That description probably will let people know who he was. Because there was really only one jerkbag.
He was a jerkbag.
In the show.
So, things didn't go so well. How about we take the money and run, buddy?
Yeah.
You can fly the ship. I can leave with you on the ship.
Wow, you offer so much.
This is what a great idea. This partnership is solid.
Yes.
Yeah, so Pascal not leaving Mandalorian, but he is going to be Mr. Fantastic.
He is everybody.
Who isn't he? We don't know.
I know. What role hasn't he taken, and what won't he be in is more news than the other way around. But anyway,
it's interesting because if they do set it in the 60s, then they could just have their kids be in the modern era.
But here, the problem with setting it in the 60s is that it's we're kind of also retroactively putting superheroes back in time again. Captain America was supposed... Yeah, just 4.
Just 4 and Captain.
Captain America was supposed to be the first, and there's this long break until Captain Marvel shows up for a little while, and then Iron Man, and then the rest come about. So now we'd have this, I forgot about it, that in the 60s.
Yeah, but they were off exploring space or something, so we ignored them, I guess.
Why not? Well, we'll see what they do. But for now, that's all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn to take to the comments below, and let us know what you think of any and all of today's news, and let's talk some Star Wars and some Fantastic Four. And until next time, thanks for watching.